All right, all my Detroit Piston fans and all my Detroit fans, all my Motor City Sports Talk fans, make sure you guys go check out Piston Mike. We got him over 100 followers, so make sure you check him out. Everything Pistons, man. He gonna hold it down and do his thing, just strictly on the Pistons thing. You know, I got the Lions and Pistons, but man, we always trying to help people get their channel up. Let's get them to 200 next, 300 next, 400 next, 500 next, and let's get them all the way to a rack so you can start making that bag. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you go over to Piston Mike as you see it on the screen. Let's get them to 200, then 300, then 400, then 500, and the whole shebang. Peace. All right, let's talk about let's talk about the Pistons hitting offers from the Cavaliers, the Rockets, the Pelicans. There was another team, the Cavaliers, Rockets, Pelicans, and Thunder looking to trade for the #1 pick. Appreciate everybody for tapping in, share the video. I want to make a financial donation. Let's donate is thumbs up the video, share the video if you haven't, subscribe. But Cash App CJ Good 313, that's in the description. PayPal link is there as well too. So those three teams are interested in trading for the #1 pick. Now, depending on who you ask, there's no clear-cut #1. There's no LeBron. There's no Blake Griffin. There's no Zion Williamson in this deal. You know, that's what some people think. Some people think that Cade Cunningham is that guy. And a little bit later, we look just in the history of maybe some shaky #1s and how they panned out. But check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Let's get to it. And my thing is this. Of course, every year is going, for the most part, when it's somebody of Cade Cunningham's caliber, there's going to be teams that want to move up for the #1 pick and going to see so. It says teams including Houston, New Orleans, and Oklahoma City Thunder are among those making overtures to evaluate what it would take to get the #1 slot, sources said. But those talks are at the early stage, and a trade is unlikely to be consummated, including much closer to the draft, if at all. From all accounts, Detroit is comfortable with standing pat at #1 and taking Cade Cunningham, but will actively explore possibilities of trading down and obtaining additional assets. But Mobley, a potential target if something gets done. So there's been a lot of stories, and we'll talk about that later. There's been a lot of stories about Mobley and is it Jalen Green, and it's very early in the stages, but just go through it. All right, Cleveland, what would they have to offer us? Pull up Cleveland roster. I don't want Kevin Love. There's been some rumors that Kevin Love could be linked to the Brooklyn Nets, and that would be a hell of a fit, wouldn't it? Injury prone to go right along with Kyrie Irving, and no defense to go around with Kyrie and James Harden. All right, you look at their depth chart, and also I don't know what they picks are, but I know they got pick 3 this year. And you look, and #1, when I look to dropping down to 3, I have to be comfortable with Mobley, Suggs, or another person, whatever it may be, Bo Knight, Moses Moody, Mitchell, Kuminga, whoever it may be. I have to be comfortable with that. For one, I want Cleveland #1 for the next 2 years. Facts, okay? That's what I'm looking at. 2, I want Colin Sexton. You got to take back Killian Hayes. So we had 2 #1s, Colin Sexton. We had the #1 for 2 more years, plus the #1 this year. So I want 3 #1s this year, because we swapping in 2 in the future from you. Unprotected. I want Colin Sexton. That's another thing. Anything else I would want? Really, no. They would have to take Killian Hayes back. Because Garland, you could go with Garland, but I'm good. They can keep Garland. They can keep Isaac Okoro. Other than that, that's just what I would take. Okay. So I want 3 I want the third pick, 2 #1s, unprotected future. So 3 #1s all together, plus with the one we swapping. Second, you take Killian, and that'd be a deal for me to drop to 3. But also, if I'm Troy Weaver, I have to be comfortable with whatever. I'd have a couple guys that I really like, because Houston probably gonna take probably gonna take Jalen Green. Okay, so that's just what I want from Cleveland, bare minimum. So 3, 2 different ones, and I want Colin Sexton, and it have to be somebody I like being there. But other than that, I thought people gonna want Isaac Okoro, but you gotta ask yourself, you jam pack that wing, so you gonna trade for Okoro, and really he got a 2 guards height. So I like Okoro a lot, but That's what it'll take for them. Now, they say who else? The New Orleans Pelicans. That's the interesting one. That is the interesting one. The New Orleans Pelicans. Hold on, man. Now, before we even get to talking, I want Ingram or I want Zion Williamson. Bare minimum. If we ain't talking about neither one of them, then I want your first round pick for the next 4 or 5 years. Okay, so let's look at their roster. Let's see what they got this year as far as assets and picks. And so, as far as picks, the Pelicans got 10. Oh, that might be it. So, like they only got 10. So, okay, for me to get started, I want Ingram or Zion. I know Zion not going to happen. I want Ingram. Other than that, I don't want nobody else from their team. Don't really need Steven Adams already working on his 3-ball. I don't want Lonzo on a sign and trade. They really don't have nothing to offer. The only one I would look at is Kira Lewis. Kira, and they'll give me Zion and Brandon Ingram. And I want they pick for the next 3 years. Plus this year, so 2 additional years. So they don't really have nothing to offer. I like Ingram and all. Really, I mean, who do you really like? Josh Hart, punk. Nobody want his punk ass. Excuse my language. Kira Lewis, Zion, and Ingram is the only one I'm interested in. I'm not interested in Bledsoe. The only ones I'm to kill, Alexander Walker, I'll be interested in him. It's going to be a tough sell for me to drop from 1 to 10. I don't see it really happening unless you throw in Ingram and Zion. But bare minimum, I'm going to need your pick for the next 4 years, plus this year, 3 additional years. Brandon Ingram, Alexander Walker, and Kira Lewis is just... I just couldn't do it. It's too far down the picking order. So we having a conversation about the Pelicans. Unless they parting ways with Zion, no chance. That's what they got. So it don't really matter. Unless they got some additional picks in the future. But for us to drop from 1 to 10, could you imagine the scrutiny if the other guys that's at the top 4, you talking about Cunningham, Suggs, Mobley, and Green, if they all panning out to be good players, do you know the backlash do you know the backlash, bro, they would get? That's wild, man. But no, I don't think I'm doing that. This is my personal opinion, bro. It had to be a hell of... I had to get Zion in a deal for that. But no, I mean, for bare minimum without Zion, Ingram, your next 4 or 5 years in first round draft picks, Alexander Walker, and I'm gonna need Kira Lewis, somebody I really like coming out the draft. So then that leaves us with OKC. So let's talk about the OKC Thunder. Sound like KFC, don't it? So the Thunder have 6, 16, 18. Okay. Let's start off with them. Let's look at their roster. Let's look at their roster. So they have some interesting assets. 4 picks up from the New Orleans Pelicans. And you look what they got. They got Darius Bazley, somebody the Pistons really like, coming out. Tony Bradley, Charlie Brown, Gabriel Deck, can't pronounce Dort, first name. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, which is Nikhil, Alexander Walker cousin. Josh Hall, Jalen Hoard, Ty Jerome from Virginia. Theo Maladon, somebody I really like. I liked him better than Killian coming out. Malachi, we had him already. Mike Muscala, Isaiah Robley, Alexei Poziki, Kemba Walker, which to be traded in Kirch Williams. So let's get it popping. For one, you can keep 18, you can keep 16, you can keep them motherfuckers. I want your first round pick the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, I don't want them. So they hold no value. I want your first round picks next year, yours, not nobody else, yours. I want the year after that, I want the next 3 years, bare minimum. And we swapping, in addition to that, we swapping for the 6th pick. All right, so let's get around with the 6th pick. there for the Oklahoma City, nobody else Thunder for next year, the year after next, and the year after. I want them 3 first-round picks, addition to the 6 this year. I want Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I want Darius Bazley. That's what I would ask for. They probably would say no, so be it. I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping on you. Tripping. Nope, I don't care. I want the 20. For you to be clear, I want the 2022 first. Their 2022 first. Nobody else's. Their 2023. Their 2024. And I want Bazley and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Bare minimum. And they gonna say no, so nope. I'm not moving up for cheap. This ain't Family Dollar. This ain't Dollar General where you about to get a deal. No sir, not me. So let's talk about Houston. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. So Houston this year got the 2nd pick, 23rd, 24th pick. So okay, I'm gonna tell you what I want from Houston. Them bums, they can keep them all. But the Pistons don't want Kevin Porter Jr. We don't have no need. Well, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Okay. 1, I'm going to want Kevin Porter Jr. The 2nd pick, and I want them with 2 additional picks for the draft. And that's it from them. You know, that's only if I really like somebody. So think about it. I want Kevin Porter Jr. Then keep Jay Sean Tate. I don't really need him. I want Kevin Porter Jr. The 2nd pick. I want 23, 24 this year. And I want your first round pick next year. Well, you'll keep the first. That's the ones I want. Just drop 2 spots. That's what I want from Houston. Kevin Porter Jr. I want to drop 1 space. Then I want your 2 first rounds at the back this year. So I want 23, 24, 2 and Kevin Porter from Houston. That's it. Because we're going to drop in 1 space. And if you want to be greedy, I would take their first next year if we really want to get greedy. So that's the only thing I want from them. They can keep Kyrie Thomas. We had them. You can keep our leftovers in Thomas and Christian Wood. Don't want John Wall. Don't want Dante Exum. Don't want Sterling Brown. I don't. Or maybe Daniel House. I definitely. We got enough money, but Daniel House is another guy I would think about getting. But yeah, that's just players that I want. But just talk about the NBA history, NBA draft history of shaky first round picks. Let's talk about that real quick. No sir, not me. Let me see. Let's start off with 2000 draft. 2000 NBA draft. Let's talk about it. So, number 1 year when Kenyon Martin, can't really argue with that. Really nobody went. I mean, you want to argue. Really nobody you can argue in that draft. Keon Dooley, Jamal Crawford, you can't really argue nobody. So let's go. 01 Kwame Brown, he was Etched in Stone. They said he dominated every player 1-on-1. Yao Ming, he was a solid number. He was a great number 1. LeBron, another great number 1. Dwight Howard, another great number 1. Andrew Bogut. So I would maybe at the time he was shaky, should have been Chris Paul. So you keep going. Boriani, you want to shaky? Obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge had the best career after that draft because Brandon Roy got injured. So there's always some other options when you got shaky number 1. I wouldn't even say Cade shaky. You just, I think you gotta take Cade, or Green. But hey, that's just my opinion on it. You gotta take Cade or Green. But we keep going. Greg Oldham, okay. He was injured in college all the time. Didn't get that. Derrick Rose. Blake Griffin was a good one, even though he wasn't the best. John Wall was a good one. And him and Evan Turner was fighting for the number 1 spot. Wall had a way better career. Kyrie. It was some little shake at time. Him and Derrick Williams didn't have a great career at all. So, I mean, it depends, man. It depends. You just got to get this one right. Troy Weaver seen he got 2 of the 3 right last year. So, we'll see, man. But, hey, that's all I want from them 4. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media subscription. Twitter is the fastest way. Then Facebook, then Instagram. All the links there. Reach out anytime you have business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. That's what the donate, share the video. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Motor City Sports. See me, Motor City Sports Talk. Peace.